Well, first off, I mean, we won, so that's a positive. I think if you take it from the movie Major League, that's 3 in a row, so you can officially call it a winning streak. I think the positive, walking into the locker room, there was some disappointment. Got to give credit to Houston Baptist, because when we got up early 14-0, it could have very easily gotten away, and that was a message I gave to our kids is we want things to be easy, and that's not the right mentality. Anything that you get in life that comes easily usually isn't good or usually isn't worth a darn. So we can't relax when we have an opportunity to step on somebody's throat. We need to. That's the difference in learning, having the habit of losing and trying to change that, because there is a great habit of losing around here. I mean, our community expects the Lobos to lose when we play somebody, and we need to change that. I'm very, very appreciative for the 16,000 that showed up tonight. I thought they did a really nice job in the crowd. It got close there at the end when we allowed the last touchdown. I'm a firm believer that you make your most improvement between game 1 and 2. We have a lot of improvement to make on special teams. I thought the difference in the game being so close was their punter. I thought he did a phenomenal job, and we didn't. We didn't kick the ball well enough. We didn't cover the ball well enough. And, I mean, that was the biggest disappointment. Their first touchdown, when it was 14-0, we give up a punt return for a touchdown out of our end zone. That was also set up by their punter hitting that ball and knocking it out of the 1-yard line. A disappointment that we couldn't get a first down and give our guys more room to punt the ball and get rid of it and then get the defense out there with an opportunity to stop them. And then the second one, he did another great job getting the ball field down there at the 2. They stop us. We try and rug punt, and we get it down. They return it down to the 40 because we don't cover it again, and we give up another touchdown. That was the touchdown we gave up on defense. That was disappointing. So we obviously have to improve significantly in special teams. And then I thought we would run the ball a lot better than we did tonight. That was a disappointment. Up front, we have a lot of guys with experience, especially from the last 2 games of last year that ran the ball really well. I didn't think Aaron and Bobby were as aggressive as they've been. I thought they were dancing a little bit, trying to make big plays as opposed to just running downhill. And we can fix that in practice. That's okay. And then Terry, I thought he was hit and miss. I thought he did a nice job controlling the offense. He missed a couple throws. He twisted his ankle earlier this morning in the walkthrough, and you could tell a little bit. He was hobbled a little bit. I mean, on that long run there on the speed option, that's normally going to be a touchdown around here if we get Terry healthy. But I thought he did a really nice job in the first half, and then we had some young guys that stepped up. I thought Luke Wysong did an outstanding job. We need to perimeter block a little bit better for him, because a couple of those he was catching the ball and getting hit before he had an opportunity to get his foot in the ground, and he can obviously make people miss. And then Keontae Lanier was obviously able to take him over the top, and that was a great ball by Terry. So we had some young guys step up and make plays, which was positive. And then obviously we got to the quarterback with a 4-man rush, and I thought that kept them. I mean, we didn't give up any deep balls, which is another positive, and we got some pressure on the quarterback. He couldn't set up there in the pocket and throw the ball over the top. And we didn't really get challenged in that aspect, and we will next week. So we got more pressure up front than we did last year with the 4-man rush, which was positive. And then when we blitzed him, we got after him. Now, I thought the quarterback, I mean, he was hard to tackle. He ran over us a couple times and did a really good job. But the positive is we won. I mean, winning's not easy. And so we had to, I mean, I got mad at them last year after the Wyoming game because they dumped water on me outside there on the field and acted like we won a championship. And I was disappointed in them in the locker room tonight when we started singing the fight song. It was very somber, so we stopped them and taught them how to do it right, because winning is not easy. And obviously winning around here has not been easy. And changing that is changing everything, the attitude from the beginning to the end. And as hard as they work to have 12 guaranteed opportunities to hopefully get a 13th and maybe even a 14th, you've got to enjoy them when you win. And so I'm disappointed that we didn't play better. But that's a positive, because it's a lot easier to correct things when you win than it is when you lose. So go ahead. Who's got questions? Go ahead there. Brandon?
Coach, great momentum after those first 2 scores and the first defensive stops. What did you make of how the team was handling the change of momentum and just like vibes on the sideline and how that was going on the field?
I thought, I mean, after the second touchdown, I think that's where we had a little bit of a break. I mean, we wanted it to be easy. We thought that the game they were just going to roll over and we just continue on, and then we gave up the punt return for a touchdown and we gave them life. So we've got to do a better job of when we have an opportunity to step on somebody's throat, actually step on their throat and finish them, because we could have. And if we put another touchdown on the board, the game's over. And then we can continue to get better and try and run the ball. And we got into a dogfight, and we gave them life. And Coach Shealy did a great job of keeping them into it. And then their punter, he changed the field so drastically a couple times, and I think he was a big difference in keeping the game close.
For this defense, they allowed flying the ball. How did you like their effort tonight? Yeah.
Thought it was good early, but I thought we got tired, and that's my fault. So we'll fix that in practice. When they tried to go fast, you saw a couple of our guys with either their hands on their knees or we couldn't get lined up fast enough. That was disappointing. They have a really good scheme on offense, and they do a really nice job. I thought the four-man pressure helped, and then obviously they couldn't run the ball, which was a positive because we're not going to allow people to run the ball on us. We did last year more than we're accustomed to. And obviously we didn't have to play. The couple deep balls we threw, we intercepted one of them and knocked the other one down. So we got to get in better shape to play harder. But I thought we played more physical than we did last year, which is a positive. We just need to continue building on that. Go ahead, Will.
Terry turning an ankle and the walk through.
Grass was wet from the rain, and we were practicing our 4-minute stuff. And, he just kind of went up to the line and fell awkwardly on it and scared me. He told me it was no big deal. I really like Terry's demeanor on the sideline, his demeanor with the offense. We'll get better up front, and you'll see him get better also.
Coach, the way you guys use the entire field, those first 2 touchdowns, then things kind of change after that. Was there anything done with intention from the coaching side of things?
No, I think we weren't blocking them as good. And the play action, the first 2 series are when we're handing the ball off to Bobby, we're getting 6-7 yards. And it's really hard as a defensive guy to call plays on 2nd and 4. Because their playbook's wide open. And then our play action stuff was working really, really well. And then they started blocking it, we weren't blocking them as good, so they started stopping the run. And when you can't run the ball, the play action stuff, there's not as much of a threat. And then Terry missed a couple throws. We had a Manny Logan Green on a corner route that was wide open in the 3rd quarter that's going to be a touchdown, and he threw it to the underneath route. We can get better at some of those things and fix them, but if you can't run the ball, it screws a whole lot of things up. So you got to give Houston Baptist credit for keeping us from being able to run the ball. Go ahead, Isabel.
You talked a lot about man sport, and today was your both of you. What do you feel the crowd tonight brought to you guys? How are they helping you, and how do you think they're going to help you next time when you are playing against them this year?
Generally, the biggest crowd of the year is against New Mexico State. They'll have a good contingency up here. It's a great rivalry. I can't stand them, so it makes it even better. And then we'll get people. I'm a positive person. So Thursday night before Labor Day weekend, I hope that affected the attendance a little bit. But I was really excited for the 16,000 some that showed up. I thought they did a great job. I thought the west sideline looked really good. They were into it, which was awesome, and we won. So the fact that we won, now if we'd have won by more, you'd get more people excited. But the fact that we won will get some people interested to come in 2 weeks. They'll have their contingency, and then it should be one heck of a crowd. I'm calling the city of Albuquerque out. Come, let's paint this town cherry. Show up. We're going to put in the work for you. I promise you that. And we'll represent you the right way. Come be a part of it. It's going to be fun.
Was Bobby Cole available?
Bobby Cole twisted his ankle about a week and a half ago. I thought he was tentative and dancing a little bit too much in the first half, and I told him at halftime that we were going to run with Aaron for a little bit. If we needed him to play, he could have. I need Bobby Cole to get healthy, so we're going to take the next 2 days to give him a little bit rest on that ankle, and then have him ready. He'll be ready for New Mexico State. Right. Terry's was his left this morning.
Danny, in addition to you said the running back maybe tiptoeing just a little bit, were you getting the kind of push from the O-line that you wanted, or was it something?
Early on, but not in the second half. I don't think we blocked them good enough in the second half. And I told the offensive line there, we're better than we played tonight, and we've got to demonstrate that next week.
Do you think there's just kind of slippage?
Well, I think Jacob Jankovic actually played pretty good at the right tackle. I thought the other ones, it looked very similar to our first 2 games last year. There was a little bit of rust. Now, we give them so many different looks during fall camp, and then all of a sudden they see something simple. Now, I thought Houston Baptist did a good job schematically tonight, mixing things up, and we should have handled some of their twists better. We just didn't knock them off the ball. We weren't physical enough.
Coach Terry throwing on the run the way that he did tonight, a little bit hit and miss, like you said earlier. Is that something that you want him to continue to do as time goes on?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's days, and he's like anybody else. I mean, it was the first time in this stadium, first time he's played since last year, and he made a couple, missed a couple. Like everything else, there'll be massive improvement between week 1 and week 2. There's days out there at practice that he rolls out like that and he don't miss anything. And then there's days that he struggles like tonight. I think he was pressing a little bit, trying hard, wanting to be perfect tonight, and we just need to relax and let it go. But I think Terry's got a chance to be pretty special. If for those of you who've been around here for a long time, he reminded me of Donald Sellers. Okay, now Donald Sellers was one of my really good friends. Rest in peace. On that long run, I mean, he's got a lot of his similar movements, and I think that's exciting. Donald Sellers was a good player.
Anything else?
Go ahead, Isabel, and then.
What is it that you say that you see the biggest improvement after game 1?
I think you get really excited and you have a lot of pent up energy for the first game. We've been going against each other schematically for the last month, doing the same things over and over. They get a little bit of grumpy with each other, and the rust of the first game, you try and work some of those things out, like Zarek Scruggs catching that screen pass when we were going to go for it in the third quarter. He puts his knee on the ground. I mean, the Hawaii punter last week against UCLA on the first punt has a low snap. He puts his knee on the ground. Things that you don't normally do, you can teach off a tape and relax a little bit. You've got to knock the rust off a little bit. I mean, we got to go against somebody else, do some things, and then you kind of relax, and we've tackled live against somebody else. You should see your most improvement between first week and second week.
So it's been 712 days since UNM actually won a game versus the state. Do you think this is the beginning, very early beginnings of trying to show fans that UNM program is back?
I think we're in the very beginning stages of that. We've won 3 in a row. That's great. When I took this job, I said it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. We are still in the beginning of this marathon. We still have a long way to go to be a good football team. We have enough talent to be very competitive. If we can continue to build on being the toughest team in this league, we'll have a chance in a bunch of games. If we don't, we won't. They know that. I think we've improved our talent a little bit. I mean, you see guys like Luke Wysong, Keontae Lanier, Tavian Combs. I thought Tavian Combs played really well at the Lobo position tonight. Okay, those are positives. We've got a long way to go, but I believe that Albuquerque is a special place. I believe the University of New Mexico football program can be really, really good. I believe it in my heart. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. Because, I have an emotional attachment to this place because I played here, I grew up here. I've had opportunities to be at places other than this. We can win a conference championship here. It's going to take us a little time to build it, okay? We have the support of the administration, which is the first step and the most important. If we get the community behind us, and it's going to take some time, I'm okay with that. I get that. Because when I talk about losing being a habit around here, okay, we live in a state that there's not a city that, there's not a lot of people that make a ton of money. So their extra money that they spend is very valuable. And when you have a habit of losing and you expect the Lobos to lose, why are you going to put your money out there to go watch them and support them? I get that. Okay, so we're going to build something so that they are proud, that they expect to come to University Stadium and win. And we're going to win a whole bunch around here. If they come now and they're willing to put their money on us right now, it'll happen a whole lot faster, I promise. But it's going to happen, and we're going to continue down this path. But I love this place. I know who they are. I know the people in this town. I know they bleed cherry and silver. We're going to paint I can't say that phrase enough. We're going to paint this town cherry, and I'm super excited for the 16,000 that showed up, and I know we can get 35,000 in here on a consistent basis.